Morning, friends. Happy New Year. Today we are installing a propane tank to supply a 26 kW generator. The ground's a bit frozen, so we got an excavator, and I'm gonna go through everything we do to size a gas line to a generator and a little industry tips and tricks that we are running into in the last couple years supplying them. So stay tuned and we'll get going. All right, guys, so here we are. We're at a kids camp getting ready to set this propane tank. Got the excavator all loaded up. We've got a nice stream rolling through the property. This is the kitchen right here. I'll just walk you over here real quick before we get the excavator out while it's warming up. We've got a few tanks to set here today, 4 120 gallon tanks. That's our crane truck right there. All right, so here's the gig. We've got a 26 kW generator, Briggs and Stratton. Now the tank we're setting is on there, and a ASME tank filled on site has to be 10 feet from a source of ignition. So that means the generator and anything else that can make a spark, including the transfer panels. So we're going to end up setting the tank over here on blocks, trenching the line around over here, and hooking up. Now in the past, the way that generators used to be hooked up to save the customer money would have been to run a small line at 10 pounds of pressure over here, throw a regulator on, and then right into the unit. But as of lately, a lot of generator manufacturers are cracking down, and they say like 5 to 8 feet of low pressure piping because they're having issues on startup with overcranking, to the point where they're stopping warrantying claims for engines that break. So it doesn't really make any sense to get 5 to 8 feet of low pressure piping right here and have a regulator just sticking out of the middle of nowhere and piping back. So we've been piping everything within reason, low pressure all the way back to the tank. So we'll be running a 3/4 inch IPS from the tank over to here, and I'll show you the sizing in the book. We'll use a hard riser over here right up into a 90, a shutoff valve, and the flex whip that this should have came with. And I'll show you the hookup over here. Are a little cold right now. Come on. Hit that generator line. This camp here, it's a children's camp that they're trying to open up to more people to keep it alive, but traditionally it was a children's camp, Girl Scouts, I think. And the electrician donated this generator. giving them a pretty good break on the work I'm doing here. Tell you what though, hydraulics are slow today. So a common question, depth of gas lines. Code says that if it's not anticipated to be driven over, it's got to be 12 inches, and if it is anticipated, it's 18. That goes for both propane and natural gas. And you might say, well, wait, you know, in my area, natural gas, it's 18 for everything. And yes, that's true, but it's company policy. They've taken the code and, you know, made it a blanket 18, and, you know, a big utility company would do that mainly because, you know, they don't want to leave that decision making to someone that's like, well, how do you decide if it's anticipated to be driven over or not? You know, for me, I own the company. I can make those decisions myself, but, you know, for a big company like that. Did I knock you guys out? No, we're still good. Absolutely miserable to dig by hand. Yeah, if you go on the, not the center console on my truck, but like on the dash of the center console, I got some warm pipe dope and tape in there. I guess that's something else. So, in my installations, at least with outdoor gas piping, even if it's vapor, I use both tape, not Teflon, it's designed for gas, and pipe dope. You only have to use one or the other, but I use both on outdoor systems, mainly because I've had so many systems that, you know, I've done personally and they've passed a leak check. But you know, you go back a couple years later and all of a sudden something you know it passed easily is leaking. And ever since I started doing tape and dope, I've had far less issues. If you're doing any liquid propane applications, tape and dope is required. Leave that one alone. This is the boniest ground I've dug in a while. What you doing? Oh. Not supposed to ask me those kinds of questions on camera.
Yeah, right.
I've known what I've been doing for a long time. The only reason I'm here is because I keep drawing the short straw. Oh yeah, this is cold. Put that marker line on there so you know when you stab it into your fitting that you went in all the way.
It's your teeth. Oh, I got that end off.
Looks like she's gonna need some wind. Come on. There she goes. When you become a licensed gas professional, there's two books that you need to study, NFPA 54 and 58. the way I was taught which is 54 is through the door, so anything in the house. 58 is out the gate, so anything in the yard. But there's a better sizing chart in this book, and we're using 3/4 IPS, which means iron pipe size. So I just look up Schedule 40 metallic pipe because it's the same size, and we're looking for 11 inches of water column. Hope you guys can see this all right. 11 inches of water column, that's our working pressure. We're going to come over to 3/4, and 20 feet gives us 418,000 BTUs. Now that generator running on high is probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 350,000 BTUs. But with these generators, they never run on high all the time. You know, the only time you're theoretically going to get max load is if everything starts up the same time. You got that initial amperage draw. So 20 feet, 418, we've got more than enough for this. But you can see, I don't know who would be curious, but if you were curious, you could look at this chart and see, you know, for how far you go and what size pipe you're using up here, what kind of BTUs you could carry. We're gonna have to hand dig that at all, you think?
Yeah,
You already got a shovel over there?
I didn't take that over to see how close we were yet. Yeah, it's right there.
Hey Ed,
Yeah.
before you go too far, I don't know that this came, that Briggs comes built in with a sediment trap like Generacs do. Yeah, no sediment trap. All right guys, so we got our pipe in the hole and we're hooked up on the generator side. We've got our anode slit riser into a shutoff valve, our flex whip down into a sediment trap and into the generator. From here, we're gonna backfill about halfway, throwing our caution tape and tracer wire. And then we're going to set our tank up over here and finish piping it up from this side. You clear, Ed? Yep. Am I gonna clear that post? I can't hear ya. That actually doesn't look bad. I think we want to slide that one block in a little bit. Oh. I do have a hogtail in here. You know, the old crane truck we had was a 550, yep. But it had a vise mounted in the back. It was the handiest thing ever. All right, I'm just gonna clean up these rocks real quick and then I'm gonna track that machine over. All right, so we've got this thing wrapped up. We're currently doing our leak check. That's what this gauge is on the tank right now. Code says that you have to hold pressure for 3 minutes without any drop in pressure, which would indicate a leak. We hold ours for 10, that's just our company policy. So we've got our regulator set up, hogtail, which is a bigger diameter than your standard pigtail. And we wrap under, we trenched our line. We come up over at the generator. And that's where we're at. All right, guys, so we just wrapped it up. On top of the generator install, we did 2 more tank sets at the same place, one for their dining hall and one for the bathhouse. Installations went fairly smooth, much smoother than this road I'm driving on right now. But yeah, everything went well. If there's anything you guys want to see or have questions on and you want to see a video of it, drop it in the comments below. I'll see what I can make happen. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.